fucking thing on? All right, let's bring some fucking energy tonight. Some energy. We just saw an epically bad presidential debate. It was quite the scene. I didn't prepare you to let you lead off, but I know you were in an environment where you possibly didn't get to witness everything, but I sure did. So, with that being said, what's your thoughts?
So remember, like MTV's Celebrity Deathmatch with the claymation? That's what like my thoughts were about this debate. Like, oh my
Let's get it
God,
on.
like, I don't want to vote for either of these fucks. I don't want to vote for either of these guys right now. Really, like, it was terrible. Like, I've seen toddlers argue and debate things better than these two guys. I mean, I was waiting for one of them to be like, I know you are.
I got to give you a timeout there. It wasn't just the two guys debating. It was the fucking moderator arguing with Trump too. I mean, it was like three guys, fighting, like arguing with each other. But go ahead, continue.
I was just waiting for one of them to be like, I know you are, but what am I? Like, it was that kind of fucking snarky ass, just like, I'm like, bro, I don't want to hear this bullshit. Talk about the topics. Talk about the shit that really matters. Like, and I think at times Biden tried to do that, and he turned towards the camera and tried to speak to the American people. But there was so much fucking going on there. It was a shit show. It was fucking hilarious.
So who won, in your opinion?
I think the American people lost. That's what I think. I don't think either guy won the fucking debate. I don't think anyone could really get to the heart of like what they were saying because there was so much other shit going on.
Well, I tend to disagree a little bit. It was a shit show. I agree with that. I'm glad you referenced Celebrity Deathmatch because it just makes me think of the great Mills Lane, who used to be a famous boxing referee, and that was his line, "Let's get it on." And he somehow made it to fame to be on Celebrity Deathmatch, which, if you don't know, was a MTV claymation thing where fucking Britney Spears would fight Taylor Swift to the death. So it was fucking awesome. In spurts, you didn't want to sit there and watch a marathon, but a little bit of here and there, it worked. Like Beavis and Butthead, like a lot of these, lower level humor type things. But Mills Lane would have like just walked out the door during this fucking thing because I feel bad for Christopher Wallace, the moderator, because he was trying to keep him on topic and to get him to stop interrupting, and but ultimately he didn't get the job.
The truth,
but he didn't get the job done. He ultimately, you got to say, well, he didn't get. Man, maybe that's a problem with the debates. Maybe they need to have like a mute button, like there's a sports show on ESPN. God damn it, I can't remember what it's called, but they have like sports writers and they talk about topics, and the host
around
the horn. Yes, he just hits that fucking button and will just shut you the fuck up. And maybe we need a shut the fuck up button for the debates because Trump would not shut the fuck up. I mean, holy shit, dude. I understand you throw a little jab here and there. You can throw your little not true or whatever. But he was like legit just doing his best to be like, fuck this guy. He's not going to talk. I'm saying what I need to say. Chi-Chi started her bullshit. as you can hear. But yeah, man, it was. I I laughed because there was a point where Biden did the old number one, number two, and then he never said anything after number two. So then he goes number three, and Trump was like, "You were on number two." So that made me laugh. And Trump is always good for laughs, but I don't need my fucking president to be a goddamn comedian. Like, I need my president, and this is a serious time. This is a serious moment. Like, let's be real here. And there's times where Biden talks where you understand what he wants to say and you get it, but he just doesn't articulate it well. So he's not the best speaker in the world. I'll admit that. But ultimately, he gets it out. It might take him a while, like your fucking grandfather who's telling you a story about, 40 years ago. It takes a while, but it gets out. And what he's saying has substance. Whereas when I'm listening to Trump, it's attacking the other person. Very little substance. Listing their accomplishments, blah, blah, blah. Very little substance. And that is what I think came out. I think if you sift through all the bullshit, Biden had very little bad moments versus Trump, when Trump had a couple of pretty bad moments. When Biden was talking about his son that died, that served in Iraq, and Trump just kind of went to his other son and didn't even acknowledge it, I don't think that was a good look. And additionally, when he brought up his son's cocaine use, like, Biden wasn't bashing your sons or daughters. Like, that's not a good look either. Plus, I think it's fair to say, and I'd probably put a few good thousands of dollars, that a lot of Trump's base have people in their lives who have had substance abuse issues. So I know you're not trying to appeal to them, but it just wasn't a good look. At least acknowledge.
Well, I mean,
yeah,
and on the Christian value, if your party and your political beliefs are based on Christian values, and that's what you proclaim, well, I mean, and kind of not like living up to your Christian value system, where it's like, don't throw stones, and one of the things I did say, like I did see with the debate, was where it seemed like Joe Biden, when talking about his son in Iraq and Trump's attack, like he was personally pissed off. Like, you could see that Biden was pissed off
of course.
about that. He's like, I'm not okay with you talking about my son, like a genuine father would be.
Yeah, but he's also like, but he also owned the cocaine, which I'm glad he did. Like, don't try to deflect that. That humanizes you. That shows that you're just like everybody else, and we all struggle with the same problems. And this has nothing to do with the presidential race, but Jesus Christ, Joe Biden's been through a lot of shit, dude. Like, fuck, this guy. He lost his son to cancer. He lost his wife way earlier. I don't know, car accident, whatever it was. But this fucking guy's been through some shit, and it's. I think in the end, Biden not getting sucked into that. Well, look at your kids. Like, what the fuck, dude? Like, him not doing that and engaging in that helped him. And then the other thing that in my opinion just killed Trump was the Proud Boys thing, when he said, stand down but stay ready. Like, they asked you specifically, to denounce white supremacy. And he didn't do it. He didn't do it. He said, let's put the pause button on that. Basically, that is going to fuck him the most. That he's done it before. I disavow. Famous thing, I disavow. He fucked them because they're going to eat that shit up. They're going to spit it out and they're going to eat it up again. No, the libs are going to eat that up, shit it out, and then eat it up again because that's how damning that statement was. By the way, Proud Boys already made a fucking logo out of it. They already have a logo that says whatever it was he said, stand down, be ready, or whatever the hell it was. So, not the best of debates for Trump. I don't know. He does make me laugh, though, but again, probably not the place for it. Anything else on the debates?
Yeah, I mean, maybe Mills Lane would have been a better moderator.
Maybe.
Wallace.
Maybe because Mills Lane would have told Trump, shut the fuck up. I told you already. Or he would have just said, all right, fuck this. You guys start swinging. I don't know. But
I thought about that. I was like, where's Dana White with the fucking octagon? Let's get it on. Like,
for real, man. Honestly, I think there shouldn't be two more if it's going to be like this. If it's going to be like this, do one more and just call it a day because, and this leads me to, I'm glad
I think the next one is.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, the next one is the vice president's, isn't it?
I don't know. The vice president's one will be more like normal. You can guarantee that. But,
yeah.
And that should be a good one because, I'm sure Pence has some good shit to say, and I'm sure Harris has some good shit to say. So I think that would be a good one. But and it'd probably be more productive than this one. But I think they should have one more because they had their Republican moderator, so they should have one Democratic moderator and end it. Because if they're going to be like this, it serves no purpose. And it leads me to another point where if you haven't made a decision by now, what's wrong with you? Like, what are you going to find out within this last month that's going to change your mind? How much of a wishy-washy asshole must you be if you haven't made a decision on who you're going to vote for at this point? It's like, I'm going to sit on the fence here, and, well, he makes a good point. Yeah, but he makes a good point, too. Well, yeah, I like that, but I like that, too. Like, what the fuck? We're fucking like a month away. What are you waiting for? Like, does Trump have to go into your house and take a shit in your living room for you to make a decision? Does Biden have to go and grab your little girl and sniff her hair and like, what the fuck? Make a choice. These are the assholes. These are the assholes who in front of you at any fucking restaurant or any place where you have to actually order something, and they're just sitting there like, well, or they're in front of you in the goddamn drive-through lane and asking a million fucking questions, and it's just like, what the fuck? There's a menu there. Order. Let's go. There should be no undecided voters.
Come to McDonald's. You know what's on the menu.
There should be no undecided voters at this point. What the fuck? You're at Kentucky Fried Chicken. They sell chicken. That's it.
You guys got burgers?
Pick your order.
Burgers, chicken burgers.
How often have they changed their sides? How often? And what? Well, what kind of sides do you have? Yeah, I'll have the tenders. Can you tell me the sauces? What the fuck? You know your go-to sauce. You know your go-to sauce. You're a fucking grown adult. Pick your barbecue sauce. Pick your honey mustard. Pick your fucking sweet and sour. It's not that difficult. You like a little spice? Get your fucking buffalo. Why the fuck are you wasting my time sitting there? Well, maybe I want to try something new. Fuck off. Fuck off. Go inside and do that. And if you're inside, get the fuck outside and go do that.
You know what irritates me too? The bag checker that doesn't pull up like all the way. So they pull up enough to check their bag, but not enough so you can get to the fucking window and get your order. So you're still stuck in like limbo. Like, check the fucking bag! Check the fucking bag! Like, you got to pull around anyways. What the fuck?
Yes, but I will say this. I have a lot more patience for the bag checker than I do for the fucking asshole who can't decide what they want. And like Taco Bell has gone through lengths to simplify their menu. Like if I get stuck behind some asshole in Taco Bell, I'm gonna lose my shit. It's a good thing I don't have a gun because I might go fucking nuts because the Taco Bell's menu is so fucking small now. It's like, all right, it's not that difficult anymore. They don't have a million things on the menu. Pick one. Let's go. Let's fucking go. So
the only time I'd be that guy is like at Starbucks.
Definitely at Starbucks. Definitely. You're right about that. But there's also like the only other place that's acceptable is like a restaurant. And you've been to the restaurant where they have that fucking menu that's like it's tri-folded and it's huge because they sell so many fucking things. And you're just like, Jesus Christ, this looks good. But then this looks good. And the waitress comes or waiter and you're like, yeah, I'm going to need a few more minutes. And you're like, fuck. Maybe I want the chicken and waffles, but god damn, them ribs look straight. But then there's that ribeye, and you're just like you're going through, and you're like, "Fuck, what do I choose?" So I can understand.
The waitress comes back. Waitress comes back and starts giving you the toe tap. So you end up ordering an appetizer that you didn't even fucking want, just so you get more time.
Yeah, or you've already crushed your fucking drink, so you just ask for another round of drinks. It's like, because the menus has a million things on it. So there I understand. But Jesus Christ, McDonald's, burger, different kind of burger, different kind of burger, chicken sandwich, fish sandwich,
Chicken sandwich,
nuggets. Like what? It's not that difficult. Anyways, we went way left on that one, which is good because these early topics are usually too fucking serious. So the point is, if you haven't made a decision, shit, get off the pot. Don't even fucking vote then, because you're an asshole. I mean, I encourage everybody to vote.
Well, and with COVID fucking guidelines and social distancing, we don't need you to be that dickbag in the voting booth taking fucking 35 minutes to fucking check the box.
Well, I think at that point, the Proud Boys will be fucking hammering you in the face. Or maybe it's going to be Antifa that's hammering you in the face, which the FBI has already said is an ideology and is not a legit group like the Proud Boys are. But yet, for some reason, the Trump administration and a lot of other idiot assholes try to make it seem like there's this organized terroristic group, which is just false. Antifa exists in ideology. It does not exist in an organized form. And if you have proof to that, feel free to send it to me. I'd love to see it because it hasn't been proven
So,
by our own fucking FBI.
so one of the things I witnessed with that protest was there was a group that had interjected themselves that kind of fit the look and responding the ideology that is associated with Antifa. And I mean, their message was not peaceful. They were not looking to make the movement a real thing. They were, I mean, honestly, it seemed like they were trying to besmudge it and create chaos and violence. So, I mean, from what I observed, I don't know if they're an organized like entity, but there are people out there with Antifa ideology.
Wait, but time out.
Now, maybe there's no.
Hold on. Before you continue, if if they were trying to hurt the Black Lives Matter cause, why would they try to make themselves um, look like they represent Antifa? Like, wouldn't that
Well, because they
help
because
the criticism against that?
well, what they did is they interject themselves in Black Lives Matter rallies and protests and create chaos and violence and situations where the police become involved and things get escalated. And then what happens is then people look at it and they don't see that there was these agitators there creating this scenario. They just see, oh, this Black Lives Matter rally, it's gotten violent, or people are doing this and that at these rallies. And really, like, it's not the organizers or the people that are like legitimately involved in it. I mean, because I could tell you firsthand, like, the organizers in my city met with law enforcement, asked law enforcement to march with them, and got permits. And the city said, "Great, we'll march with
Yeah,
you. We'll walk down
all
the
right,
street with you."
but you're going down
Support it.
another road. Like,
But
I'm talking
no,
about
no, no.
Antifa.
But then this group
Like,
decided.
did, anybody can be rogue. Anybody can say, "I am this" or "I am that." Our FBI said this is not an organized group. They're trying to make it seem like this is an organized terroristic group, and it's not. There's an ideology that
Oh, I
maybe
mean,
people put on themselves and their buddies, but it's not an organized group.
but
And
there has been some organization.
no,
The sitting on Wall
yeah.
Street. The
So you don't believe your FBI?
No, I'm saying there has been some organization within this ideology. The sitting on Wall Street, the sitting in front of the White House.
But
Like,
you could do that with anything.
there there's some, but there's some organization to it. It's whether it's a group mentality, and you're piping this ideology to people that are going to like drink from that cup. But it's real. It exists because,
I understand
like
it
I said,
exists.
there's examples right there.
I understand it exists, but there's a difference in the level of existence. And our F
I mean,
and
do
this
I? No,
this is the
no,
key.
and I don't think that this is fucking. This is an Al Qaeda.
Well,
That's
no. It doesn't even have to.
organized
It
fucking
doesn't even have to
network
be
of
that
fucking.
bad. It doesn't even have to be that bad. What I'm saying is, if you listen to the conservatives, they try to make it seem like BLM equals Antifa, and it doesn't. And that's where
No,
and that's where
not at all.
things need to be distinguished. Are there possibly small pockets of stupid Antifa groups? Absolutely. I'm not disputing that. I'm saying nationally organized group, it doesn't exist. Because if it did, the FBI would be all over their asses. Just like while the Proud Boys are starting to get a little more organized, and there are other white supremacist groups that are terroristic groups that are on the FBI's radar that are organized. Um, there's going to be some ideologies Like maybe the Proud Boys is a West Coast thing right now. But if you're on the West Coast, if you got a whole coast, that's becoming a group. That's becoming an organized group. And if you start spreading out, you know, what I'm saying is an ideology doesn't mean that you're a legit group. And what I'm saying is they're trying to perpetrate this lie that BLM equals Antifa, and it's just not true. And anybody with a brain will understand that. I don't know.
No, and to be honest, like I I'm not a fan of BLM as an organization. There's some backstory to that because like I don't I don't like some of their ideology. Um, however, like I support what they want to do to some extent. Um,
What let's talk about it. What ideology?
because Black Lives Matters does not believe in the traditional family. Um,
What?
they don't support that. Yeah, if you do a little research
Where
on
did
Black
this
Lives
come from?
Matter, like if you do a little research on Black Lives Matter,
That
you'll
makes
see that
that
the
makes no
organization
sense.
makes plenty of sense. They don't believe in the traditional family.
So what do they believe in?
Well, I mean, Black Lives Matter was started by two lesbian women who like believe in a new type of family, and I'll bring up some information real quick
What's wrong
to
with two
support
lesbian women
my.
having a family?
No one's saying that's the problem. What I'm
So
saying
what
is
exactly
they don't
is the
support like a
issue?
traditional family structure.
That's I don't think wow. Who have you been talking to? Because that's not the point at all of Black Lives Matter. And if you really think that people who support Black Lives Matter are focused on that, then I don't know what you're reading or who you're talking to, but that is not the point at all. And I
All right.
extremely disagree with you. And don't bring up some QAnon bullshit. All right, we're just recording a podcast here. Let's all wait for Rob to get his facts while my throat is dying.
Well, so I'm going to bring up thoughts that support what I'm saying,
So
and
support from
part of
where?
that is
Wait. I want to know where the source is.
this is the Washington Times.
The Washington Times, which is a right wing, um, a right wing publication.
You would say it's the right wing publication
Yeah,
because a lot of BLM's like thoughts are
The
towards
Washington Journal.
imperialism.
The Washington Journal is the legit uh, uh, the legit news source. The Washington Times are a right wing organization or a right wing news source. All right, so we just had a little quick difficulty there with the transmission. Sorry about that. But yeah, so I think that I think there's going to be a lot of stuff that tries to debunk, and I misspoke, and you corrected me. The Washington Post is the legit newspaper source, but the Washington Times is a conservative website. Um, and there's tons of those that are spreading fake propaganda or whatever. So what it comes down to, the whole point of this is no matter what you think about BLM or whatever, the whole point is Antifa does not equal Black Lives Matter. And that's what they want you to believe. That's all I'm saying. That's it. And I think you would agree with that.
No, I mean absolutely, and I don't want to take this like this to be misconstrued that I don't support the movement because I do. I just have a problem with the organization itself. Um,
Well, you have
like
a
reading up on articles from people.
no, you have some. If you really want ammunition for that, this bullshit where these Black Lives Matter protesters bother innocent people. Like I saw. Sorry, guys, this cough is not going away. Um, I saw this on Fox News. They talked to this guy who was just protecting his store. I think he had a smoke shop or whatever. Got a fucking nice rifle in his arms, but he wasn't pointing it at anybody. He was just standing there, minding his own business, guarding his store. And people were giving him shit, and they wanted him to like say Breonna Taylor's name and this and that. And it's like he doesn't have to do that. He's not the problem. Leave him the fuck alone. So when Black Lives Matter starts doing shit like that, that fucks up their cause. And that makes people say, all right, now you guys are just being dicks. So fuck off. And that's when people stop listening. So you have to make your message productive. And even saw Nancy Pelosi say, she was on some interview, say her name, Breonna. Like, this pandering bullshit. Like, everybody knows her name. You don't have to say her name to prove something. What the fuck does that do? What does that prove? What does that do for anybody? Say her name. It's one of the stupidest things. But to your point, there are many African Americans who are hurting the cause by doing stupid shit like that. Like, if somebody's sitting on a fucking at a restaurant eating a goddamn juicy ass burger because they've been locked up for fucking who knows how many months and they're just trying to enjoy themselves, they don't want to deal with this bullshit. You go protest. Leave me the fuck alone and let me eat my fucking cheeseburger. Fuck off. I just had to wait because this asshole next to me was using my waiter for fucking 30 minutes because he couldn't decide what he wanted on the menu. So I finally get my hot, juicy cheeseburger, and now you're in my face saying, say her name. Fuck you. Say these nuts, motherfucker. So that affects things. My only point was Antifa is not what they're telling you it is. And it could become something like that, but it's not right now. And to lump the two in together is not fair or right. And if you have any closing thoughts on that, go ahead.
No, I mean I agree with that. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I guess for me, like I would love to see a movement that was like more towards like the 1960s movement of unity and hope, um, and taking that ideology for the Black Lives Matter thing to like take it to a new level. Um, Antifa is not Black Lives Matter. The people that believe in that ideology are not part of that movement. But there are people that are interjecting themselves into that
Absolutely.
movement with that
Absolutely. Yep.
ideology,
Yep.
and
Most definitely.
their intention is to manipulate and to use it for their advantage to create the scenario that they want,
I think we agree on
which
that.
is anarchy. Yeah.
Yep. I think we agree on that. So with that being said, um, let's move on to this police major in Kentucky. Excuse me. Bridget Hallahan. Bridget fucking Hallahan. Just somebody obtained emails where she was telling people basically that like the protesters and stuff will be washing our cars. And they'll be checking us out at Walmart and stuff like that. Which is and this goes back to our cancel culture shit. It's poor taste. It's bad. It's a bad message to send. I agree with that. This lady was relieved of her duties because of this stupid email. I don't agree with what she said. I think it's demeaning people who are hardworking American citizens, whether they wash cars or they fucking check your groceries at Walmart. It doesn't matter. Just because they don't have a badge and a gun does not make them less than you. So it was tone deaf and it was stupid, and you're an asshole for saying it, but you shouldn't lose your fucking job for that. Like, reprimanded? Fine. You want to suspend her? Fine. But all I saw was relieved of her duties. So I don't know if she's completely been fired. But this is where we are. This is where we are, where some asshole, you can send out a poor taste email to a group that you supervise or whatever. You make a mistake. Maybe somebody she knows or just got hurt, or you never know. You never know the thought process of what's going on at the time. Maybe she's under a lot of stress. Guys are saying, "What the fuck? We're out there, getting killed. People are making us the bad guys," and she's getting a lot of heat. So she tries to comment with this stupid email. So it was a bad email, but she made a bad decision. Does she need to lose her fucking job? Like, is that always the answer? Or is the answer to say, listen, you shouldn't have handled that this way. This is the way you should have handled it, and give her another fucking chance. Like, what are we, why, for as much as people and people on the left love criticizing Trump, when you do shit like this, you're doing the same shit Trump does. And we talked about it last week about his turnover in the White Office. If you don't tell him what he likes, he just gets rid of you. So this person says the wrong thing, gets a little heat, they get rid of her. You're doing the same fucking thing, you idiots. The same thing you're fighting against. Wake the fuck up.
When I think I think that's part of, there was a period of time where you could have your thoughts and opinions, but because you weren't putting them on public display, it was what it was. But now in the world of social media and information, like, now every thought you put out publicly is putting you at risk of being, like, kind of exposed for your ideology. You know what I'm saying? Like, what you're thinking, whether it's right or wrong, or
This
whatever the
wasn't even a tweet,
circumstance.
though, bro. This wasn't even a tweet. This was like something she sent to her. I'm sure she was trying to be like, "Don't worry, guys. We're gonna, rally the troops. We're gonna power through this." I'm sure that was the tone of it, but you get only the excerpts. You don't get the whole email.
Yeah, but I mean, the other thing too is whether her message was misconstrued or not, there's still a certain level of professionalism that you would expect in her position.
Agreed.
And maybe she should be reprimanded on her thoughts on how she dealt with it. But I don't know if she should be terminated. Like,
Unless you got some other shit,
I don't know.
right? Like if you got a history, fine. If you did a bunch of fucked up shit, fine. But my guess is it's just the this day and age where they just put pressure on you, and people just are just so quick to say, "Oh, well, fuck it, they're out, they're out." Just like the NHL did with Mike Milbury, which still baffles me to this fucking day.
Well, I mean, it's like working a job, and your boss comes in one day and goes, I heard you're a Trump supporter, and that's unfortunate. We're gonna have to let you go.
I mean, that's where it's going. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
where
I
it's
mean,
headed. Like some, far left liberal. Yeah, that's where we're headed if we keep doing this shit. And I'm sure that's probably against some law, but
no.
but um but yeah, all right. This is a serious question to all the woke assholes out there. How many things do we cancel until we have nothing left? You can't even tell a fucking joke anymore without people getting offended. It's bananas.
Well, and that's the fucking problem, though. Like, if there is no communication, if everyone's afraid to speak on these topics and afraid to have an opinion, well, then nothing gets resolved.
And not only that, not only does nothing get resolved, but you get the same uh, straight and narrow bullshit across the board. Nobody says anything thought provoking. Nobody says anything to go against the grain because it's like, oh, I'm going to get canceled.
And where places like that where you can't go against the grain are called communist countries.
Yeah, well, if you want to listen to, and if you're a fan of this guy, good for you. But if you want a content full of like Mike Greenbergs in your life, how fucking boring would that be? How boring, like how I think if I had to listen to just a bunch of Mike Greenbergs because I love sports, I'd probably just kill myself. I think I would. I think that would push me over the edge to just take a bullet to the fucking back of the throat. Kurt Cobain, bitches. You give me a bunch of Michael Greenbergs, I'm out. That's it. I'm done with society. Fuck off. I'll try to be smart about it and maybe make a couple of either bets or stock investments to leave my kids a little something like Walter White. But if I fail, fuck it. I'm gonna kill off myself anyways. um. Anyways.
I don't know. Speaking of suicides,
Uh, no, we're not there yet. Actually, we could jump ahead to that. So I guess this guy, his name is Jake Gardner. He was in Omaha. He killed himself. Killed himself because he killed a 22-year-old man. Now, if you read into the story a little bit, it shows just how fucked up some of these police investigations are in some areas. So this is Omaha, Nebraska. He supposedly, after somebody did an investigation, has a history. He owned a couple bars, or his family owned a couple bars, whatever. I don't know if it was him specifically. And if you read the history, supposedly a lot of people not white would get different treatment than white folks in these bars. So they would say, you're not allowed to wear that hat, but then you go inside and there's a white dude just wearing a hat, like stuff like that. So apparently, according to witnesses, during a protest, he was standing out in front of the building with firearms or whatever, and I don't know if he pulled the gun or whatever he did, but some chick saw it and tried to like get the gun away from him, because I guess she thought something was going down. And she failed, obviously, or maybe not obviously. I guess she just didn't have, he was just stronger than her. I bet if it was Gina Carano, she would have took his ass down. But so she failed, and this other kid ran over because he's thinking the same thing to disarm the guy. He ends up shooting the kid in the throat. The police decide that it was self-defense and let him go home. That's simple. He goes home, he gets to sleep in his bed. I don't know how many days went by before somebody said, yo, what the fuck is going on here? And they decide to arrest him. Now, mind you, according to reports, these people were trying to give their story to cops, and cops were telling them to leave. They weren't interested in their accounts. First-hand witnesses to a murder. And this is what we're talking about when we talk about reform the police. Because this is bullshit. Because I guarantee you, if you turn Jake Gardner into a black man and you turn James Scurlock into a white kid and the roles are reversed, you think that guy's going home that night? You think he's chilling? And the district attorney or whoever's in charge is letting it slide?
See, this one kind of, I don't like. This one is one of those situations where, like, I'd have to know both sides of the story.
But you
Because
arrest the guy, dude. You don't let the guy walk. You don't let the guy go home and sleep in his bed until you find out the story.
no, I mean, most definitely, like, you would have to fucking like do a thorough investigation and
They were telling
see what the
people,
circumstances.
not only were they telling people to leave, they told them to leave before they got arrested. People who had information about what happened. Like more than one witness. That's how we conduct police investigations? Defend that.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, if the man was outside his business trying to protect his business, and it escalated though, and he ended up shooting someone, I could see the police going, you know what, it was self defense, whatever. However, to not like interview any of those people that witnessed it and just send them packing, I think is not the way you conduct this investigation, and didn't do justice to the person that was shot.
How about you arrest the person until you're sure that there's no fucked up things? Like like how about arrest the person until you know he's legit like innocent?
Yeah,
Because I guarantee you,
yeah. I mean, if
if it was a black guy, would he have been afforded the same the same rights? And this is all we're talking about in equality, and this is all we're talking about in this racial division. Just treat people the same.
yeah, no, and I think that's absolutely, that makes a very strong point for that argument. Was, had it been a black man, would he have gone free?
And if I'm not mistaken, if I read correctly, there was further information that came out that they were waiting for people. Like this wasn't just a, oh, I'm in front of my, see, this is the big difference. The thing that I told you about earlier, the guy was out there, he wasn't provoking anybody, he was trying to just keep to himself. People approached him. So he responded. According to all these reports, this guy was looking for it. He was looking to get into some shit. So I don't know. I don't have all the details, but the bottom line is the administration fucked it up. And this is the problem. People do bad things. People do things the wrong way. People don't treat people equally. And that guy should have never been able to sleep in his bed that night before they said, let's get everybody who saw shit, get the fuck over here and stand here and wait. They didn't want to know. They were telling people to leave. That's fucked up. And people should be,
Yeah, I mean,
and you don't even hear it. All you hear is Breonna Taylor, Breonna Taylor, Breonna Taylor. You don't even hear about this poor kid, 22 years old, dead. Because he thought this guy was going to start shooting people. So he tried to do something about it. Shot in the throat, 22 years old. But you don't hear his name. Nobody's saying his name. All you hear is Breonna Taylor, Breonna Taylor, Breonna Taylor. And not to say anything, take anything away from her. That's a fucked up thing too. But I'm saying your movement should be more about just one individual thing. The movement should be more about this systemic bullshit where somebody fucks up and everybody just covers for him.
well, and that's the thing. Like, I think as a society, like when you ask that question, like, if he was a black man that committed the crime, and if there's any tinge of your doubt in your mind, like that you say, yeah, if he was black, he would have gone to jail. Well, then our system's fucked up.
That's a good point.
Like
That's
that is
a really
the
good point.
definition of systematic racism.
Yeah,
Like,
but they don't want to cop to it. They'll say, "Oh, he was just defending himself. They attacked him." That's what they'll say, not knowing.
okay, but that's my thing. Like, okay, regardless of his actions and the cause of his actions, you don't thoroughly investigate it.
Exactly.
Like, you wouldn't afford a black man who was put in the same situation the lack of investigation. You'd have
Yep.
been all over that shit.
Yep.
You'd have put him in handcuffs. You would have threw him in a jail cell and had every fucking interview going for a million years to fucking substantiate your case against them.
Yep.
So why wouldn't you do that? Do the same thing in this situation?
100%. I agree with you 100%. It's bullshit. But that leads us into, the big topic. What the fuck? So speaking of, some of these investigations and this and that, I'm sure you've seen all of the, because none of the cops were charged with anything except for the guy that got fired for the Breonna Taylor thing. And because he was just an idiot and he was just bucking shots into like neighbors' apartments and stuff like that. But this will eventually lead into what we were just talking about, police investigations. So we talked about this a long time ago, right? Like one of our earlier episodes, we talked about lumping these things together and how every case is different and how a policeman kneeling on somebody's neck till he dies and doing nothing is a little bit different than a policeman trying to do his job, following the rules as far as you can tell, that were provided to him, and essentially defending themselves. Like those are two way different things, and I know people look at this in different ways, and I understand. It sucks. It's a tragedy. It's a shame to know that a woman sitting in her house or standing in her own house gets gunned down by police. But the difference here is that the cops are being fired on. And it's a huge difference. no matter no matter what you do in this investigation, um, grand jury, whatever, you cannot prove that these cops maliciously or negligently killed her because they were there based on the information that they had for a legitimate reason and they got fired upon. So they have the right to
No,
defend themselves. Am I wrong? Am I
and the
missing
warrant
something?
was a valid warrant. No, and the warrant was a valid warrant.
It was the
Breonna
wrong
Taylor's
place.
boyfriend.
Yes, it was the wrong place, but it was a valid warrant. And mind you, they don't want you to. And I'm not defending the process. The process is fucked. You know why this process exists? This no knock warrant bullshit, so that they don't have time to flush the drugs down the toilet. So your priority is evidence versus a situation like this. That's where the problem is, you fucking assholes. The problem is with the process that you allow this to happen because you're more concerned about them flushing evidence than you are about somebody getting killed for no reason. And that's what makes no sense. You want to fight about something? Talk about the process. Because,
The other thing is, they said
yeah, go ahead.
they had eyewitness accounts that the other thing is they said they had eyewitness accounts that there was knocks on the door. There was eyewitness accounts that said that they did declare that they were police.
I think that witness changed his story, though.
Yeah, so I mean,
But that leads.
neither here nor there. Like, if the attorney general, like in Louisville, is a black man.
Okay. But
You know what I'm saying? Like,
that doesn't mean that some shenanigans aren't going on, because it's also been reported and released by Vice, like video of the cop that was the rogue cop that was doing the shooting into the fucking neighbors' houses was in there during the investigation. Standard procedure is if you kill somebody like that, all the cops that were involved are out. They're out. They bring in internal people to do the investigation. This asshole's in there asking questions. Like, well, what casing is that? Is that one of ours or is that theirs? Like, trying to possibly influence the investigation. And there could be more to come. Who knows? So to me, that's what you should be more upset about, because what happened is a tragedy. There's no doubt about it. A poor, young, defenseless woman got shot in her own fucking house or her own apartment by cops. That is a tragedy. But it's not like these cops just decided, let's go to this chick's house and just blast her. And that's what that seems to be the narrative. I said it, I don't know how many episodes ago. If Breonna Taylor was Indian, if she was Asian, if she was Latina, she would be dead the same way because of the boyfriend's actions. And I'm not saying he did the wrong thing. I'm not blaming him. But if you shoot at cops, they're going to shoot back. And you can't say that they're murderers when they're just responding to a situation like that. It's just wrong. Put yourself in their position. What are you going to do? These guys are out there trying to make our lives safer. They're risking their lives to do, you know, what a lot of us wouldn't do. And now you want to just throw out charges for something that kind of wasn't their fault. The fault was the whole system that was set up for them to do that job. And not to throw shade on Breonna Taylor or anything like that, because I'm really not. But there is history of her with the drug dealer. apparently he had packages delivered to her house, so there was a connection. So it's not like this was all random willy nilly shit. It's a fucking shame. It's a tragedy. She shouldn't have lost her life, but her life was lost by this process, not by rogue cops. And for everybody to be focused on like this is just rogue cops or racial bullshit, it's just not. It's the wrong time to do it. And by the way, Charles Barkley and Shaq agreed with this, and they got a ton of shit for it. Like they want to cancel Charles Barkley because he said exactly what I just said. You know, not in those words, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, because I mean, I think anyone with reasonable intelligence realizes there's a difference between systematic racism and police brutality, and a difference in this case and that case. Like her death was terrible, like unwarranted, and like a sad situation. On the same token, like my mom, like or growing up, like I was always taught, like if you don't want to be like associated, or you don't want to be like in a situation where like people think you're one of the bad guys too, then don't surround yourself with the bad guys. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
but
saying? So
the only reason I mentioned that she was getting the packages is to show that there was a link, like
yeah, no. I'm just saying, like it's no different than, let's say I'm driving, like walking down the road, and I'm fucking hitchhiking or whatever, and a car pulls up and they're like, yeah, jump in, buddy, but they just robbed the bank, and then the cops fucking accost them, and there's a shootout, and I get killed in the fucking process. Like,
a little different,
you
but
know,
I get where
a little bit
I get
different.
where you're going.
Or let's say I was in the car and knowing that I was going to the bank and they were going to rob it, and I had no parts in the robbery, but I might have known that they were up to no good.
It's a little bit more extreme the other side. So but
Yeah.
your your analogies aren't hitting, but I understand what you're trying to say. The to act like there was zero involvement with this dude is to just ignore the facts, and that doesn't mean she deserved to lose her life.
No, I guess what I'm trying to say is, if she was some woman that was gunned down on the corner in the street by police officers, it might like it it might be a little bit different. It might fit that narrative.
Well, I guess to your point, if a lady was known to be in a certain area by, let's say, for example, and this has nothing to do with Brianna, because by all accounts she was just an upstanding just person, and in no way am I trying to say this about her. I'm just trying to give an example. So like let's say a lady was known to pick up a few buys at a local corner where it's known that there's deals going on. And it could be something as simple as a bag of weed, like she's known to hit that corner to buy an ounce here and there, or to buy a dime bag or whatever. And that lady um, ends up getting shot at that corner, but she was just there waiting for the bus. Like she wasn't buying a dime bag just because she's done it in the past. Doesn't like she's not or more importantly, she's there waiting for the bus. Actually, this makes more sense. She's there waiting for the bus to go to work or something, and a drug dealer gets, they're trying to get a drug dealer, and she gets gunned down. But she's been known to hit that corner once in a while. Like you see what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
like, you can't justify her dying because there's no justification for it. It's fucked up. But how do you lay the blame on a person when they're just like, so to expand on it, cops go to bust that guy, he starts bucking at them, right? They shoot, they kill her. Are we gonna and I know what you're gonna say, well, this is outside, this is not in her house. I get it, I understand, but my point is about the process. Cop is allowed to defend themselves. They have dangerous jobs, and that's what's getting lost. And that's why so many officers are frustrated and pissed off about this, because the fault was in the process. The fault was in the no-knock warrant. The fault was, I don't want to say the boyfriend, because if you're licensed to carry a gun and somebody's trying to break in your house, maybe you buck too. Unfortunately, in this instance, it resulted in his girlfriend's death. So it's an unfortunate thing. It's a tragic thing. But if you want to protest for other things that make more sense. Like the woman where the cop shot her through the window when she was playing fucking video games with her kid. Like, everybody forgot about that. I mean, her nephew, whatever. The fucking cop shot her through the fucking window. She didn't buck any shots at him. She was playing video games. You want to protest shit like that. You want to talk about racial shit, talk about fucking the guys who hunted down the kid in Atlanta who was just doing a run. Let's focus on the real shit that needs to be fixed. And mind you, the no-knock warrant shit needs to be fixed. But I think they're already doing that. So what are we protesting? The fact that cops didn't get arrested because they were trying to do their job? And additionally...
Well, and to make the argument that, oh, well, you know, the family received money because of the civil lawsuit, the burden of proof in a civil case and a criminal case are completely different.
Yes. So, and I think they're like upset at the prosecutor because, or the DA, because they're like, oh, well, I guess they didn't introduce heftier charges to the grand jury. Well, you have to introduce charges that you're going to be able to prove. No jury is going to convict these guys for doing their job, except for the one asshole that was shooting into the neighbors. And they fired his ass. And he got charges. So the problem is with the system and with the investigation, because it looks like they weren't completely 100% transparent. Who knows? That we'll find out. But that's what your issue is.
I mean, I think the officers involved were like, fuck, like, oh shit, we fucked up. And of course, like, they tried to cover their ass. Like, and that's why I think it was proved in the civil case, like, that was the case. And that's why they were able to get, you know, a settlement and get paid. You know, they were able to win the civil lawsuit. But with a criminal case, the burden of proof is, like, you have to prove that there was a criminal act.
Without a shadow of a doubt. Yes.
You know.
Agreed.
Civil's
different.
Civil is more likely than not.
Yeah, exactly. You hit it 100%. And listen, this is not to take away from what happened. What happened is a fucking tragedy and it sucks. But I got Shaq and Barkley's back. Like, we talked about this before this even blew up. We talked about this. I don't know. Remember what episode? I wish I went back and looked at it. But we talked about this way back when, that it's just not the same circumstance as some of these other more egregious things. And the focus is off. The anger is off. It needs to be channeled to the right avenues. But whatever. We got one more heavy thing, and let's get to the lighter shit because, again, too much heavy shit. And when I say heavy shit, it's because the great Animal from the Road Warriors has passed on, which is a sad, sad thing because anybody who loved wrestling loved the Road Warriors. If you didn't love the Road Warriors, you were either a pussy or just a straight up loser. I mean, I don't know. I can't think of any reason not to love the Road Warriors. They were the badass motherfuckers in multiple wrestling organizations. Unfortunately, Hawk died a while ago. But, and I think Animal has like, if I'm not mistaken, I think he has a son in the NFL or something like that. Or maybe multiple sons in the NFL. I'm not 100% sure how many, but I know he has at least one. But as a kid growing up and watching the WWF, yes, it used to be called the WWF, not the WWE. World Wildlife Federation fucked that up, and Vince McMahon was a pussy for not fighting that. But whatever. Even before that, WCW,
World Wildlife Foundation.
yeah,
It's not Federation. It was World Wrestling Federation.
Yeah. I said that wrong. Thanks for that correction. Sound like a fucking idiot. But if you were a kid growing up and you saw these guys on WCW before they even made it to the WWF or WWE, they were fucking awesome. They came to the ring with the fucking shoulder pads with the big spikes sticking out, the painted faces, the mohawk and the reverse mohawk. Like, it was fucking awesome. These guys were the baddest motherfuckers around. And to the point where they even tried to make some bootleg copy of them, some assholes that just were not the same. You remember those guys? I can't remember their name. Fuck. Wish I could remember their name. You know what I'm talking about, though, right? They were a little bit bigger, a little more bulky. Fuck. I don't know. They sucked though. They had nowhere near the charisma, and Hawk was the high flying guy, and those guys sucked. I think it was Demolition or something. Axe and Smash. Remember them? Yeah, they were like fucking Road Warrior wannabes. Fuck those guys. But yeah, not the Road Warriors are no more. So it makes me a little bit sad because I used to. This is a true story. I actually cut out the belt out of a magazine and taped it onto like some cardboard. So it was like I had a fake WCW championship belt. And I would take that shit to school. And I would wrestle kids like if I was the champ. So this is very sad for me. I don't watch wrestling. I haven't watched wrestling in a long time, but as a kid, Animal was one of the good ones. You have any tributes to Animal?
We used to have our bedroom wrestling matches growing up.
Yeah, I used to beat the shit out of you and Tori.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's sad. It's sad to see like the end of that era. I mean, you think of a lot of great wrestling names that have passed. But I remember the Legion of Doom well.
Fucking awesome name. Awesome name for a tag team champion. I mean, for a tag team. Legion of Doom. Like, the only thing better is the Four Horsemen. Like, it's just awesome. fucking gold.
And they were the Dudley Boys before the Dudley Boys were the Dudley Boys. You know,
They were everything.
they were the Bushwhackers before the Bushwhackers were
Oh, Bushwhackers
the
are not even on their
Bushwhackers.
level. Not even on their level. The only ones I could compare is the Von Erichs. In just that, like, I don't know, their name meant so much. I mean, obviously you get more hype as the years go older, but I'm talking about like back in the day. Like as you get older and there's more exposure, a Bushwhackers would be like a, big hype machine. But back in the day, before you had all the hype, you had like these tag teams. And by the way, if what's that show called? The Dark Side of the Ring. Holy shit. That's a fucking awesome show on Vice. They talk about the Von Erichs. Von Erichs, if for those who don't think that like mental health issues pass through just genes and stuff, you're fucking crazy. I think like 3 of the sons and the father all killed themselves. That's how fucked up that family was. And I think there's like one left, which was my favorite, Kevin Von Erich. But they have a lot
I
of.
think is it Terry that's still left?
No, it's Kevin. Terry killed himself too.
No.
Yeah, the Texas tornado, dead. God bless him. But that show is fucking awesome, dude. They talk about like you get all the backstage scoops, and I would say the New Jack one was fucking phenomenal. And if you get a chance, look it up. I like the Von Erich one just because I used to like the Von Erichs and stuff. But they had like Chris Benoit. They have the Montreal Screwjob with Bret Hitman Hart. But I don't want to make this into a fucking wrestling podcast. So, anyways,
I think the big thing about wrestling and those guys is it goes to say the same thing as the NFL with the traumatic brain injuries.
Oh, absolutely.
Creating,
yeah,
like that's why so many of them have like ended up committing suicide.
Oh yeah, they have one like on Eddie Guerrero. Like it's good. If you're into wrestling, check out that shit. Dark Side of the Ring is legit. But let's get this is fucking dark. Fuck that. Let's get some lighter shit. So Amazon has a new payment method technology.
Yeah, so Amazon has released their new payment technology, and it's a way to pay without a card or a cash, or maybe there's a card linked to it or whatever, but it's a hand scan technology. So
I was gonna say, what do you just like whip your dick out, and if they like the look of it, then they give you a pass?
So you wave your hand in front of this device, and it recognizes the ridges and curves in your hand, and fucking recognizes you and takes your payment. Boop.
Hold up. So I'm trying to picture this. And I'm sure I can Google it and look it up, but is it like something with scanners that scan your hand?
Yeah, so it's a device that's on like a pivot like this, and you just run your hand there, and, goes, and it like reads the ridges of your hand, and that's how you make your payment.
So almost like a fingerprint type technology thing.
Yeah.
Biometrics,
what I thought was interesting of this, I was like, man, like, so what if this became like a legitimate thing? Like, motherfuckers could be running around chopping off other people's hands. Like,
it's true.
Like, I'm trying to get that new shit on Amazon.
Dude, and just they just stuff it in like their into their sleeve, their long sleeve.
We got a blue hand, bro. Yeah.
And dudes will hold it and try to save it for as long as they can. So they'll put it in the freezer and stuff, and they'll keep trying to use it. The fingernails will be all black and shit. Like,
It was like the Adam Sandler movie, like Mr. Deeds, where he
yeah.
had like the black foot.
Motherfuckers will push it. You bet your ass.
What happened to your hand? I had frostbite.
Or like you know how they say like your hair and nails still grow after you die and stuff. So motherfuckers will have their hand out and they'll be clipping the nail. Giving themselves like they take their blue hand to the salon. They get a little pedicure. I mean a manicure. Oh shit, that's fucked up.
Crack fiends hitting you up like, yeah, brother, I just need a hand. I need a hand, bro.
I mean, I guess with, but you know what? It's a good idea because of the times we're in, and I think if we do end up with a effective vaccine and people are not worrying about the virus anymore, people aren't going to give a shit about that. So,
Well, I mean, I really feel like we're moving towards a cashless society, anyways, or
absolutely.
like a universal currency. Um, I mean, I would say probably within the next 10 to 15 years, like there may be some kind of biometric technology that, like, you could just pay for things just by waving your arm, you know, in front of something, whether it's an implant,
Probably
microchip or something.
I would say more fingerprint scanner type situation um, that is proven to be like 99.999% effective before you start seeing all that other stuff. I think that would be the first step because you're already seeing it with apps like logging into your credit card on your phone. You can just use your fingerprint now. So I think that's probably the first step, but I hear you. It's getting
Which,
there.
you know, enough for nothing just brings me back to the whole debate shit, like about the fucking elections, like the fraudulent elections and the the controversy over mail-in ballots. Like, why the fuck hasn't technology come that far that we don't have like some kind of application-based shit?
Because of the hackers. Just because of the hackers. Like you can't chance that. Like if Russia's really trying to fuck with the investigation, you think they're not gonna be have their best hackers on that? And even if they hack just one, you know, area and they get 500,000 votes, I mean, it's a big deal. So I think that's what it is, if I'm being honest. But
Yeah, I mean, I just
all this bullshit is it. Listen, since we went back to the debates, people have been voting by mail forever, and to all of a sudden it be a problem shows you how desperate Trump is to keep, you know, stay in office. Because despite what they want you to believe with what happened in Pennsylvania, and we probably should have put this at the top of the one of the topics at the top, the polling office realized the issue themselves and reported it themselves. Nobody was trying to do any foul shit. They said somebody fucked up, come in, tell us what to do, and that's what they did. They found the ballots in the trash. They said, "Uh-oh, this is not cool." Um, 2 of the 9 votes were in the secondary envelope, which is confusing to some people because I guess I'm not like hugely familiar with mail-in voting, but apparently you have to fill out your ballot, put it in an envelope, and then put it in a second envelope. So the mailing envelope doesn't mean shit unless it's sealed in another envelope. And a lot of people don't do that, and they fuck that up, making the vote. Which, by the way, the Republicans put into play way back when. If the ballot isn't filled out properly, then you discard it. So apparently,
well, the reason for the two envelope system is to keep your vote not unanimous
yes,
or
no,
anonymous.
I understand. The Republicans put that into play. So if we're being fair, now mind you, they mistook these votes for military votes. So military votes, I think, are a little bit different. But the bottom line is, if the person thought these votes were not valid because they weren't in the second envelope and they discarded them, then they were basically doing what they're supposed to do. But whatever. Point is, once they saw there was a problem, they stopped everything, they sealed everything. They said, let's bring the others in here to investigate this shit and make sure everything is on the level. So that shows you that people take this shit seriously. Nobody is like, oh, this says Trump, fuck this. Like, and I'm not going to say that it doesn't happen. There are rare occasions where it happens, but the penalties are so severe. Like, you fuck with voting, you're doing time. So most people aren't willing to make that take that risk. And it's just a bunch of bullshit. It's just a bunch of bullshit. So the point is vote people. But whatever, we went back into the serious shit. Let's get back to the lighter stuff. So Amazon payment tech, we're talking about fucking just magically waving your hand and paying your bills. You just walk by, just like, just like, hey, I'm all set. But I also saw they have, and it's not just Amazon. I think it's one of the alarm companies. These fucking indoor drone cameras now. So like, if you have an alarm upstairs in your corner bedroom, the drone will just fly up there and take a look around for you. Like, that's how advanced we're getting. This is fucking dope. Like,
you're laying in bed, you hear something in the hallway, you're like, hold on.
yeah, or it just does it for you automatically. Like, that's fucking sweet. So, technology, good and bad, because what if somebody hacks your indoor drone camera and you get busy with wifey, and all of a sudden you look over and your fucking drone camera's recording you going to town.
And Jeb, your next door neighbor's fucking beating off to you and
Yeah,
you and
it's
the
like,
missus.
it's like, what the fuck, dude? Why is my drone camera like looking at me? Especially if you're one of those fuckheads who has like these weird fetishes. So like you're there dressed like you're dressed in the lingerie and the panties and all. Oh shit, that is troublesome. So did you hear about? These guys did something that probably every man who's had a job ever thought of doing. These guys that work at the train station in New York. Have you heard about their
Yeah, the
man
underground
cave?
man cave.
These fucking guys actually pulled it off. And who knows how long they were using it. For those that don't know, they had like a storage room, like a electronics storage room or whatever, way down on the Grand Central Station, nestled up in the corner somewhere. And these fucking guys, I don't think it was too many of them, or like 3 of them or something.
There's like 3 or 4 employees.
They put a couch in there, like a futon. They had a fridge. They had a microwave. More importantly, they had a big ass TV in there with a fire stick so that they could watch TV while they were chilling down there. And not only that, these guys were on some like Mission Impossible type shit where they actually built like a cabinet, like a covering to cover the TV so that you wouldn't even know the TV was there. And they try to hide these things. They had like another cot.
They had they had brews in the fridge.
Oh yeah, they found a beer, like half drunk beer in the fridge. Like these fucking guys were living the life. You go to work, you do your rounds, and then it's like, yeah, I think I'll go take a nap for a couple hours. Like what the fuck? Or 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 it's, man, I missed the episode of The Boys last night. Let me go down and watch it. Like this is what these fucking guys were doing. And I'm just thinking, because these guys, they're all unionized. If you're the union rep who has to represent these guys, how do you represent them? Well, what's your defense?
The funny thing is, I don't know if you heard like how they got caught, like how they were able to figure out who it was or whatever. So one of the things was they looked at the Wi-Fi list,
Oh yeah.
and it was like Juan's phone. So I couldn't even fucking deny it. Like they said he tried to deny it first. They were like, "Well, we found your name on the Wi-Fi list."
Smart TVs. See, all these devices, they're just tracking us and they're fucking us over. If that was back in the day and was just a regular tube TV with the fucking rabbit ear antennas, yeah, you didn't have all the options that you have now. But guess what? It doesn't say Juan's phone on it.
Well, and I think they like the guy, like none of the guys snitched on each other. I think they found a receipt from one of the other guys, like a credit card receipt or something like that in there.
Yeah, the guy,
I'm
the
like,
receipt for like the airbed or the like,
yeah.
these fucking guys. They went through. Think about that. Think about that. These guys went through all the effort of crafting a fucking big ass cabinet to cover their TV, and didn't think that, well, maybe somebody would look at the fucking Wi-Fi and see that it's set up to my mobile hotspot. Like,
Well, and here's my thing. Like, there's nothing to say that these guys
I'll
started
tell you
out
what,
like.
these guys will never be on Ocean's 11. That's for goddamn sure.
Well, and here's my thing. Like, there's nothing to say that these guys didn't create that room for an innocent reason at first. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Meh.
maybe Jose got like kicked out of his girl's place and like needed somewhere to stay,
Meh.
and was like, "Oh, I found this maintenance closet," and then started hooking himself up while he was saving cake to get his own place or whatever. And then it
That's a
became like
that's an
a social
optimistic
thing
look.
afterwards.
That's an
But I mean,
optimistic look on things.
I will tell you this: like
I'll
when I
tell you
worked
what.
for when I
You just created my defense if I'm one of them.
yeah,
Because that's better than probably anything else they could come up with.
yeah, I was homeless. Like I need somewhere to stay. Hey, there you go. Jose, there's your kid. There's your fucking plea, bro.
I mean, good work. Good work.
I will tell you, like years ago, like when I worked for the airline, we did something similar, not on that scale, but like we had a catering room that we kept all the like aircraft catering, like sodas and shit like that,
Oh hell yeah.
and we built like a false wall out of sodas, So it looked like there was soda stacked all the way back. But if you went around the corner, there was like some chairs propped up so you could sleep in there.
No, it wasn't, dude. I was there.
There's a TV and
In
shit.
case you forget, I brought the TV so we could watch football on Sundays. There'd be like 6 of us in there, but mind you, there's a difference. In the airline industry, if you're not, you work a gate, and if you have no flights, then you pretty much can do whatever you want. You can sit in the break room, play cards, whatever. So, or you could sleep. So there's a bit of a difference there. It's kind of part of the industry. So, but on Sundays we're always missing the games. So I brought the fucking TV in. We set that bitch up so that we could watch the Patriots games.
You remember the antenna that we would
We had
wire
this,
out the door?
we had this mega antenna. Hey, it worked.
God forbid Massport ever fucking caught us, man.
It worked. It worked. And if we didn't get caught, then that's on our bosses. That's on them. But at least that was like, that wasn't like like we didn't have multiple airbeds and cots and futons and shit like that.
Well, the funny thing is, but we had a legitimate break room, and then we had this.
We did, but we couldn't get the Patriots games in the break room. This was kind of like more closer to outside, so we were able to get reception to see the Patriots game, and that's the only reason why we set it up in there.
Well, and there was definitely a dummy wall with sodas.
Yeah, but I mean, to be fair, you could go in the locker room and just lay down and go to sleep. Like that's what you'd walk in the locker room. There's a dude sleeping there. There's a dude sleeping there. There's a dude sleeping over there. The only reason we set it up there was because we could actually get reception to watch the games. Yeah. So that was, and plus, you had pretzels and fucking sodas and shit. So whoever had access to the catering room would leave it open, and we all just chill in there. Your flight would come in, you go do your flight, you come back and be like, all right, where we at? What quarter is it? Like, what's the score? But yeah, that was a little bit different, but I it's good times. So I don't know if you've noticed this, but and this is probably, I guess I notice it when I see it on the internet where it says like it's National Burger Day or it's National Wing Day. But it goes even further. It's National Daughter Day. It's National fucking, I don't know, Helicopter Dick Day. Like, what the fuck are we doing with these national whatever days? What do they really mean? If you make a National X Day about anything, when do people start giving a fuck? Because I think it's already happened. Like, there's a National something day for everything. Everything. Like National fucking I don't know, you got your leg blown off. National Stump.
Pig in a Blanket Day.
National Stump Day. Like I don't know. Like what, National Oil Change Day. Like what the fuck? Like think about how many national days there are. National whatever day.
There's a whole fucking calendar for them. Like you can look it up and say National, what is this day? National what day? And they'll give you 7 different things that.
Who the fuck decides this?
National. So I think it's almost like the key to the city shit, where it's like, like the mayor will go, well, we're gonna offer you the key to the city. What does that really fucking mean? Like,
all right, so
what is that key good for?
So if I wanted to start a movement to create a National Cock and Balls Day, or no, better yet, National Random Richards Day, could I make it happen?
Yeah. All you have to do is get a Congress member to fucking dog ear it on a bill and declare someday Random Richards Day.
Interesting. Seeing as how I have more political insight than probably 90% of the assholes that are in office, I think we might be able to make that work. The question is, what day do we want? Because I don't want it like lumped in with other bullshit. I don't want it to be like around Christmas or, I don't want to fuck with Christmas or Halloween. Which, by the way, what the fuck are poor kids gonna do this Halloween? Like you get COVID Snickers? Hey, what are we doing?
You gotta buy candy you can throw at them from your door.
Yeah, actually, you just came up with a great idea. Like, all right, nobody come. Just open your bag. I'm gonna toss these fuckers, and I'm just gonna shoot hoops. Just bouncing them off of kids' faces and shit. Like,
you get candy.
Like
make
bag shot.
You know they have
Kobe.
like those potato gun. Like you have the potato guns. These motherfuckers have potato guns and shit.
A little extreme.
You got air compressors hooked up. You're shooting candy at the kids.
I'm not trying to harm the kids. I'm just saying I want to be safe.
Here's your fucking Smarties.
Because this is what you're faced with. If your state allows or city allows trick or treating, you either hand them out and risk COVID, or you put the bowl out there full of candy.
And then little fucking fat ass Sebastian takes the whole roll.
Well, I mean, even like if there's parents, probably tell them just take one, unless they're asshole parents. But the kids that don't
doesn't that bowl become a cesspool for COVID?
Probably, but the point is that the kid without the parents, like if it's just a group of kids and they see that, they're grabbing handfuls, bro.
Especially if you got that good candy,
dude. Yes, they're like the Trump supporters who grab handfuls of fucking Trump's cake, the corner piece of cake. These motherfuckers are grabbing handfuls of that shit. So then you end up with like a empty bowl in no time, because these little assholes see a bunch of delicious Twix bars and Reese's peanut butter cups, and they're just like, it's a lot better than Smarties, bro. Let's fucking go. So,
well, I mean, here's my thing. Why shouldn't trick or treating be allowed? Like, if your kid's wearing a mask,
you would think.
You know what I'm saying?
But
like he's wearing a mask. So what? He looks like Darth Vader. He's got a mask on. Like,
well, no, I guess you could. I don't think those masks are designed for that, but I would
be a ninja.
Listen, I would say it's comparable to a face shield. So, yeah, I guess that's a good point, because, and the reason I bring this up is because where I used to live, I never got trick-or-treaters, dude. Never. Even the place that I lived before the last place that I lived, we were on like a little cul-de-sac, and I got maybe one trick-or-treater. And it always disappointed me, because I wanted to be that house that kids were like, word. Like, that house was a shit. So I actually made like the little bags with all the fucking bunch of candies in it. So I had a shit ton of bags sitting there with all these delicious candies in it. And one fucking kid came to eat them. So it pissed me off.
This kid came back 10 times. He's like, man, this motherfucker had the good shit.
It was a little girl. I think I gave her like 5 of them because nobody was coming. And of course the boys just tore them up. But so I was actually, now that I'm down here in Florida, I was actually looking forward to actually giving out candy and seeing all the little kids and, their costumes and this and that. But I don't know how that's going to work. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But anyways,
Candy cannons.
The point is,
candy cannons.
National National Whatever Day. You know what? You just made me think of a good, the best, the best costume this year. The best costume this year would be if you walked around like a little basketball hoop with with the fucking the bag in front of you, like just holding it out in front of your stomach and chest, and just put a backboard in
Just
front
shoot.
of your face.
Just shoot, bro. Just shoot.
I mean, that would be like the best fucking costume. But
Be a target, like it's a big ass bullseye on your chest.
no, you have the backboard as the sheet, the face mask. So the backboard is the face mask,
Yeah.
and you have like the the square, so that people just toss their
Bank off your face.
yeah
Bank off your face into the fucking.
to your shit. Yeah. Or I mean, I suppose you could do it on your chest, but it would be funnier if it was. So even like the curmudgeons who just do it out of obligation or whatever.
Social obligation.
Yeah, they're just like, oh, word, this is cool. Take that, you little fucker. It's just a thought. Another invention brought to you by the Random Riches podcast. So, if anybody, and by the way, I want to say this to our small group of listeners and subscribers and whatnot. If you have any ideas, hit us up. Like, if you want to hear something, we're welcome to ideas. If you have a kid that you dressed up as a basketball hoop and allowed them to go and just get like Snickers to the face all day, all night,
Send us the
please
pictures and we'll put it on our Facebook page.
send us a fucking video. Like, I want to see. I want to see that. And you're welcome for the idea. But yeah, we welcome interaction. If you guys, even if you have a topic that you want us to dive into, throw it at us. We welcome it. I mean, do we seem like standoffish guys? We're very welcoming. Anyways, so I noticed I have this issue, and you've already expressed to me how you are not a seatbelt fan, and I understand. There are times where I'm just gonna run a quick errand, and I'm just like so, I guess, focused or so into it or whatever, because I almost always put my seatbelt on. But once in a while, I don't. Maybe because I know I'm gonna get out of the car because the mailbox is a little bit far away. So when I go to do some errands, I'll just stop at the mailbox and grab the mail. And I know I'm going to get out, so I don't put the seatbelt on. But it does that ding, ding, ding every so many seconds. Now, mind you, this fucking alert is a smart alert. This cocksucker doesn't do it just for 30 seconds, a minute, whatever. This fucking asshole alert will do it constantly if you're doing stop and go traffic type stuff. So, if I jumped on the highway, the dinging would be gone probably a minute or so, maybe a little bit more, into my trip. Gone. I could have no seatbelt on, no ding. I'm good to go. However, this is not always the case. As I stated, sometimes you want to stop, grab your mail. Then you gotta go, you hit a light when you're, just getting outside of where you live. Maybe you're going up the street to the fucking Dollar Tree, whatever. This cocksucking alert will continue to ding because you keep stopping. So it's like it doesn't hit the time limit of just consistent movement to just go away. So as
I
long,
think it's actually a speed sensor.
no, I don't think so. I think I honestly think it's a timing thing. So as long as you, because I've gotten up there, and maybe it is, maybe I'm wrong, but either way, at that point, it becomes a test of wills to me. It gets to the point where I'm like, fuck you. You're not going to make me turn my seatbelt on or put my seatbelt on. Fuck off. Like, you can ding all you want, motherfucker. It's not going to happen. And you want a battle? Let's go. And it turns into a fucking battle with me for some reason. And I'll just be like, all right, it's annoying, but I'm not going to let you make me do it out of fucking spite. I spite my own fucking seatbelt sensor. How fucked up is that? I got fucking problems, dude.
The funny thing is, like, I fucking hate seatbelts so much that, like, I've gotten to a point where, like, I'll just fucking buckle the seatbelt like behind me, so
Yeah.
that the sensor shuts the fuck up.
Yeah.
But like, I recently had this problem because I was carrying something in my front seat, and my front seat, like my passenger seat, has a fucking sensor in it that if there's so much weight on the seat, it triggers the airbag, which triggers the fucking seatbelt thing. So if you have, I think it's 75 pounds or more or whatever, sitting in your front seat, then your seatbelt activates and the seatbelt warning comes on if your seatbelt's not buckled. So, like, I know exactly what you're talking about because I was driving down the road and here's this fucking thing, bing, bing. I'm just like, I have my fucking seatbelt on, but my passenger didn't because I had a fucking big ass box in my front seat. I was like, oh, are you fucking kidding me? And I had to listen to this shit for like 20 minutes.
So what did you do?
I fucking willed it out. I was like, but I learned that day. I was like, man, fuck this shit. Now on, buckle the seatbelt behind the baggage.
I guess normally I wear my seatbelt, so I don't want to get this to be an anti-seatbelt take because me and you are on opposite ends of that. However, again, there are times where I say, fuck this. And I can't think of another test of wills other than like, your little asshole kids in the back seat just like screaming and crying and stuff. I mean, that's the only comparable thing I could think of than that fucking dong, 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 dong. And you're just like, all right, motherfucker. It's on, bitch.
I think like the only thing I can recall is like when my kids were growing up, like they'd be throwing a temper tantrum, so they get that like really high pitched scream, like ah! So then I just do it back to them, like ah! And we'd have this screaming match back and forth.
I like that technique. I like that technique. If my kids ever did that, I would just have to look at them and give them the teeth, like, you mother, and they would stop. They knew that when they pushed me to that point where I give them the teeth, like, it was over. So, because my bark,
I remember
was always worse than my bite.
being grocery shopping with my kids, and like I think Tyler was like running through the fucking, or no, I was at Walmart or whatever, and Tyler was running through the clothes racks, like underneath them and shit, and kept running around. And at one point, like I just stuck my leg out, fucking
Just
tripped
tripped
him.
them. Whoops. Get up. You're okay.
Guess you're not gonna run anymore. That's why you don't run through the racks.
Well, I mean, and to be honest, like if I told any of my kids don't jump on the couch, and they proceeded to jump on the couch and then fell and busted their ass, and so I would always say, "See, that's why I told you not to fucking jump on the couch, stupid idiot. That's what happens." Like,
did you not hear about the monkeys jumping on the bed? Remember what I told you about the monkeys jumping on the bed?
Like, it's not rocket science. If you're not smarter than that, you're smarter now. So more people should probably do that, if we're being honest.
Maybe that's what's wrong with our society now.
That's exactly what's wrong with our society.
Like, we learned the hard way not to do shit. Like, oh, broke my arm. Maybe I'm not gonna fucking climb shit I shouldn't climb.
Yes.
Like,
yes. Kids have to make mistakes and learn things the hard way sometimes. You can't wrap them in a bubble. Like you can't wrap them in bubble wrap. Like, sometimes they're gonna bust their ass. They're gonna bang their head. They're gonna get cuts and scrapes and bruises. It's life. Like, we all did it. We're okay. Yeah, you want to protect your kids as much as you can, but you also want to teach them the effects of actions and repercussions.
Stupidity. And stupidity.
Cause and effect. You know? But whatever.
Play stupid games, you get stupid prizes.
So I read an article that Berkeley, California has banned. You know how when you go to the front of the grocery store, there's like the stand with all the candy bars, and in front of it there's like all the chips and stuff like that. They've actually banned this from their supermarkets and whatever. To which I say, fuck you, Berkeley, California. Suck my balls and catch COVID. Look, this is where it starts, where we start. And mind you, you can still get them in the store. But you're telling the store they can't sell these products the way that they want to, because they know impulse buys gives them X amount of sales. And if it's in the candy aisle, most people might not go down the candy aisle. Out of sight, out of mind. So now you're just fucking with businesses for no real reason. How do these places selling these things at the front hurt people? Explain that to me. Explain to me why these assholes in Berkeley, California decided that this is such a big problem in society today that they have to ban it. Ban it. And we're not just talking about candy bars. We're talking about fucking chips too. Think about when you were a kid and you got to the front and you saw all this fucking candy bars and all these chips, and your parents actually let you buy one. How fucking awesome that was. And in some cases, your parents let you buy two. So you got a bag of chips and a piece of candy.
It was like your mom's dressed. You're like, Mom,
Yeah.
Mom.
Can I get a Kit Kat?
Can I get a Kit Kat?
I mean, and like, they just want to take, and even as an adult, I go up there and I'm just like, oh shit, whatchamacallit? Haven't had one of those in forever. Fuck yeah, let's go. You know what I'm saying? Like, why are we doing things we don't need to do? I don't get it. Next thing, what's next? You're gonna tell Walgreens they can't sell condoms in a certain section because little kids might see them. So now some fucking asshole out there can't get his condoms the way he's normally, or some other asshole can't get his lube.
And
so
now
he's
that
getting
dude's, and now and now that dude's breeding, and he's not really a dude you want to breed.
Yeah.
Like,
Or some other poor bastard is trying to find some lube for his boyfriend, and now it's like they made it inconvenient, so now his boyfriend's gonna have to deal with spit. Like,
he's gonna get COVID in his asshole.
I mean, what are we doing? What are we doing? Jesus Christ. Leave the fucking candy bars and the chips out of it. Stop.
For real, if I want to snap into a Slim Jim, fucking let me be.
I wouldn't doubt if that's on the list, because I think it's like if it has X amount of sugar or X amount of soda, fuck off. Fuck off. This is America. Let's start to remember that. This is fucking America. And I understand they're saying, oh, well, you can still get it. It's still in the store. Fuck you. The store says this is where we sell these products the most. And if I'm a store owner, that's where I want to sell those products. So fuck off. These single candies aren't going to sell in the candy aisle the way they sell in the front. What is wrong with your kid having a fucking Twix? Where did we go wrong? It's a Twix.
It also gave us like an ability as a parent to fucking bribe our kids. Like, hey, if you're really good through the grocery store, when we get to the register,
Good
I'll
point.
hook you up with a Twix.
Or pick whatever you want. Excellent point. Excellent point. Now we can't bribe our kids anymore. Because if we go through the candy aisle and we give them the fucking candy to begin with, and we still got half our shopping to do, the little fuckers aren't going to listen, and they're still going to act like little assholes for the rest of the half of the shopping. So there's no gold at the end of the rainbow.
And if they get it at that point, they're going to eat it halfway through the fucking store. And now you got a sticky little fuck that you got to carry back to the car who's got chocolate smeared all over their face and their fucking hands that now tugged on your fucking dress and has it all over your fucking dress, woman.
Word. Truer words couldn't be spoken. And I will say this to anybody, if we ever get a Berkeley listener, and you have to deal with this bullshit, give your kid the king size, okay? Let them go ham and get chocolate all over their face, all over their fucking hands. And when you get to that checkout counter, let them touch everything. Just take them out of the carriage, put them down, let them touch everything, and just make a mess out of it. Because that's what these assholes deserve for this fucking bullshit. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. And if we get elected 2024, we will not stand for this. We will fight for your right. Not the party. Not the party. We will fight for your right to buy a king-size Twix at the checkout line. We will fight for your right to get a king-size Reese's peanut butter cup package at the checkout line. Gum. If it has so much sugar, you can't buy gum. What the fuck? We're talking gum. And they wonder why we are where we are in this fucking country. Jesus Christ. Anyways, speaking of foods, you seem to have an issue with or maybe multiple breakfast fast foods. So I'll let you elaborate.
No, I was thinking about this the other day, like, with this whole cancel culture thing. Like, if you could cancel one breakfast food, what would it be? If you cancel one breakfast
Fast
food,
food, breakfast food, or just regular breakfast food?
Not just regular breakfast food in general.
Regular breakfast food. Oh, I thought we were talking fast food. That's hard. That's hard because there's a lot of breakfast foods. I mean, you're talking oatmeal, you're talking pancakes, you're talking. By the way, speaking of pancakes, I will say this. I am not a fan of pancakes. And it's weird because I love waffles. And I think it's just because of the texture. How fucked up is that?
So my cancel food
Wait.
is
Well, before we,
pancakes.
wait. No. We have to deal with my issue first. What is wrong with me? It's the same batter. Why do I enjoy waffles but do not like pancakes? And I already said it's the texture, but like, what kind of a psycho am I that bothers me that much? It's the same fucking batter.
It's I don't know. It's funny for me because I didn't even think about that when I was thinking about like what I would cancel because I like waffles. I don't like pancakes, and yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's weird. Like
It's so
maybe it is a
perplexing.
texture
It's
thing.
driving me crazy.
And my reasoning for not liking pancakes is because pancakes by themselves aren't good.
Yeah, you need
Like
the
how
syrup.
how do you make pancakes good? You need syrup,
Yeah,
you need butter.
yeah.
Like otherwise, it's just a
Well,
fucking like
I mean,
floury disc.
no. Well, there are, if you enjoy fruits and things like that, there are recipes where
They can
you,
put them in it.
yeah,
Yeah,
you could enjoy a blueberry pancake or something like that. So, but you still have to add the blueberries. So
yeah.
you're still right. Um, you still have to add something to them. But before we get to your choice, there's so many options to choose from. See, when you laid this on me, I thought we were talking about fast food. But you're talking about just breakfast foods in general. I mean, so many options. We got oatmeal. Like some people love oatmeal. Some people are like, fuck oatmeal. Um, Cream of wheat, which by the way, they are taking the black chef off of cream of wheat, which is fucking ridiculous. Um, God damn, I guess you got
So
muffins.
Uncle Ben's did announce their new name, by the way.
Yeah, yeah. Uncle Ben is out.
I think it's Ben's Original or some shit
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
They still kept Uncle Ben, just now it's Ben's Original.
Oh, that's gonna make a big difference. um, so I'm just trying to run through the breakfast items. Obviously, there's eggs
Grits,
and yeah, grits are out there. Bacon, sausage, pancakes, waffles, French toast. I'm just trying to think,
biscuits,
like the Denny's menu. Some people have yogurt, biscuits, yeah, um, bagels, English muffins, a lot of bread
cereal.
type stuff, I guess. All right, so hit enough anticipation. What is your breakfast item that needs to go?
No, I definitely, like I said, I think pancakes. Like pancakes was my choice,
Oh, I stole your
and
thunder. My bad.
yeah, like and I think it's because like they don't have any fucking like they don't stand alone. Like you have to enhance them.
I will say this: if you are at Denny's or IHOP or wherever, and they have those cinnamon frosted pancakes, oh, you have to order one for the table, dude. Because I don't give a fuck about texture in that scenario because all you taste is the sweetness. Fucking
But
awesome.
then it's cake. It's fucking cake at that point. It's
That's
cinnamon
fine.
cake.
That's fine. But you order it as a dessert for the table. You know, you
Yeah.
eat your eggs and bacon or whatever the fuck you like, sausage, fucking corned beef hash, whatever floats your boat. Even if you're a steak and eggs guy, go for it. But you have that fucking dessert, man. That shit is fire. The cinnamon swirl pancakes. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Oh my god. You have to order one for the table for dessert. Just make sure you do that, people, from now on. And there's different variations. You know, sometimes you might get like a, I don't know, some type of cheesecake one or whatever is sweet and your crew enjoys. You order one of those for the fucking table because man, that shit is fire. And that's the only time I can fuck with pancakes. Otherwise, get them out of my face. Unless I do, unless they're super thin and they're kind of crispy. Like, you know how the ends get kind of crispy? That's when I can fuck with pancakes. They got to be super thin because if they're too fluffy, then I taste that texture and I'm just like, fuck these things, you know? But it's my
Well, I
weird.
mean, I think the texture thing is like they're designed to be fluffy to absorb syrup.
But they're mushy. Like, they
Yeah.
just, like, my serial killer thing is pancakes. So serve me pancakes, you die. That's, unless they're super thin and crispy on the ends. That's the only way you live.
So is that your breakfast food? If you could cancel breakfast food,
Well, I'm gonna go with what my original thought was. If I could cancel breakfast, just regular all-out breakfast foods, it would be like some asshole hippie shit with like a kale drink or some bullshit like that. But if or a Morning Star sausage, like suck my dick, give me a real fucking sausage. Um, but I was leaning towards fast food, so I started thinking, and I'm like, kind of like I either I like them or I don't mind most of the fast food, like sandwiches and hash browns and all of that shit. So I'm trying to think, and I'm like, oh, I remember one, and it's that fucking Dunkin' Donuts Big and Toasty, where it's like Texas toast with eggs and all of this shit. And my God, the grease on that motherfucker, like, holy shit, dude. You could fry a batch of chicken in the grease that you get from that cocksucker. And I haven't had one in forever. But when I did, the grease level was like you'd eat it, and before you got to work, you'd be having a half of a coronary. Like
that's
that's how much grease was in that bitch.
I think my favorite like fast food breakfast food is Dunkin' Donuts bagel, like sausage egg and cheese bagel.
Oh, but that I'm not talking about that. That
Yeah,
that was not nowhere near. I don't know what they did, but the big and toasty,
yeah, they still offer it down here.
those are greasy as fuck, dude. I will say my favorite breakfast food, which is I guess you might even not consider it breakfast, is a chicken biscuit. I'll take a chicken biscuit, fucking seven
Like the
days out of
Hardee's
seven
joint,
days, huh?
like the Hardee's joint.
Oh, you can get one at McDonald's these days. They'll give you like a McChicken and like a biscuit. Chicken biscuit, man. All day, every day. I fucking love it. Fuck your eggs. Give me a chicken biscuit. You have your little fucking embryos. I'll have the meat. Uh, all right. I think we covered all the.
Speaking of breakfast though, you ever think is cereal like a soup?
I've never thought of cereal as a soup, but I guess since soup can be served cold, it's a soup. Yes. You're a fucking genius. Cereal's a soup.
Yeah, like you eat it with a spoon. It's got like a match of ingredients.
In a bowl.
It's in a bowl.
Fuck
It's like
yeah.
it's almost like a gazpacho.
Fucking, fucking soup. We're eating soup for breakfast. The fuck? Holy shit.
Next, they try that. Try that with the kids. Like, hey, you want some breakfast soup?
What kind of soup you want for breakfast? Lucky Charms. Cocoa Puffs. That's funny. I like that. Like, so see, and if you were one of these cereal companies, you would use that as a good campaign, like soup. It's not just for dinner or something.
The soup
Oh,
of the day.
yeah,
Soup of the like.
yeah. You
If
could
you were
launch it exactly. You could launch a whole campaign about it.
yeah, like
Fucking
if you were like a breakfast place, like
dude.
Cracker Barrel or fucking
What what
Bob Evans.
what else? What else can random riches do? Like how much more can we inspire you assholes to do something out of the box? Jesus Christ, we just gave you an ad campaign.
Literally out of the box.
Yeah, this is soup out of the box. I mean, what the fuck? Jesus Christ. If somebody makes money off this shit, you don't have to throw us any money, but if you work for like a cereal company or something, throw us a few boxes of cereal.
Well, I mean, whole time like if you like owned a soup shop, like this is how you serve breakfast.
Yeah, yeah, breakfast
You
soup.
get breakfast soup.
Everything on the menu. Cinnamon Toast Crunch, corn pops, whatever you like. Fucking regular ass. I'll tell you what, man. Maybe it's just me being an older fuck. Sometimes I just enjoy just like a regular basic ass cornflakes. Like it's so stupid, but it's like I'll eat like a bowl of Cocoa Puffs or Captain Crunch berries or something, and I'm like, yeah, that's good and everything. I like it, enjoy it, but sometimes I just want like what I used to have when I was a kid. Only when I was a kid, we didn't have real cornflakes. We had the generic ones in the fucking plain white box that said in black cornflakes on it, and we used to
And
put
if
a
you wanted to make them
ton of
frosted,
sugar on it. We used to put a ton of sugar on it. Or,
you get done drinking the bowl.
or
You're drinking your soup, and then
if
this fucking sugar slosh.
if you wanted a little switch, if you had like some Nestle Quick powder, you would sprinkle that shit on it. So now you had chocolate cornflakes. Or if you didn't have that and you had the syrup, put the syrup on it, and you have fucking chocolate cornflakes anyways.
Well,
So
and I like the syrup because you would get that chocolatey goodness on the fucking flakes.
oh, and by the way, here's a tip for it for anybody and everybody. If you have some cereal and if you're serving yourself a bowl of ice cream, put some cereal in it. Now, mind you, you want to pair things the right way. So, you know, if you're a big chocolate lover, you sprinkle some Cocoa Pebbles or some Cocoa Puffs into your chocolate ice cream. If you want to contrast, then you sprinkle them into your vanilla ice cream. Um, but and you can use this with many different combinations. What I like to call cereal sundaes. You will not be disappointed because the texture that you get, you think adding some nuts to your ice cream sundae made your ice cream that much more enjoyable? Put some fucking cereal on it. Listen, I've given you guys a lot of good fucking ideas, all right? This is one of my best ever. If you don't do
However,
this could be my best. No. However, hold on, time out. Let me finish.
how
Let me finish. But tell me what the however is.
however, Cookie Crisp should never ever be used for this
Why?
because Cookie Crisp will Not the fucking roof of your mouth up
Yeah,
with milk.
but so will Captain Crunch.
See, I never had the problem with Captain Crunch.
Doesn't matter. See, don't listen to him. I'm giving you guys the best advice you've ever had in your life. Okay, because you will thank me after you do this. You make yourself a nice cereal sundae, and you will never go back. If you have cereal, you will always try to put cereal in your ice cream. And like I said, you can dress it up however you want. So you want cookies and cream? You throw some fucking cookie crunch in there and maybe drizzle a little caramel and a little fucking whipped cream on top. Boom, cereal sundae. Awesome. The best thing you'll ever eat. Okay. And all you fuckers can thank me and all you fuckers can love me and say that I am the smartest person that you know because I gave you cereal sundaes. Eat a fucking cereal sundae. Trust me. You'll love it.
In fact, you could theme your whole Sunday as a cereal Sunday when you have cereal soup for breakfast, cereal chicken.
Listen,
when you take your cornflakes,
you asshole!
fry
Don't you
your
try
chicken
to
up in
don't you fucking try to minimize my cereal Sundays, you cocksucker! All right, you had a great thought about the cereal soup. I'm with you 100%, but that's just in the end, it's just cereal. Cereal Sundays, when you have some texture in your ice cream, it just makes a world of difference. And you guys are going to be sucking my dick after you try this. So I expect a million blowjobs. Enjoy. I'm not even. I'm going to push the blowjobs away because I'm a happily married man. But enjoy the cereal Sundays, and you're welcome. What else can I say? You got anything else?
on that note.
See ya.